Well, good morning, everyone. It's the 9th of March on a Saturday, and just wanted to chat with you a few minutes and help you prepare for this next week. Uh, Most of you are doing pretty well. There's a few of you who need to step it up a little bit, which is the case every beginning of every semester. It seems like it takes a couple of weeks to sort of figure out how things work, and then once you do, you really pick it up and get going. So I applaud those who have done that already. All right, week three. So there's two cases this week. One is an individual case, that's the Tesla case. And then there's a second one that's a team project. So you work together, and I'll tell you how to do that in just a second. Um, Also, don't forget to do your peer evaluation. So you'll evaluate each other as you interact in groups, and that's in the end of the week section. So make sure you do that. All right, let's get into Tesla. Um, this is not a super difficult case, but it's going to require some time. So the obviously you have to read the case to be able to answer the questions. So the, the case is going to, and before I get into this, I might add that you're completely welcome to discuss this in your group. In fact, it's almost impossible not to do very well in these cases unless you're talking about them in your groups. And you're welcome to use WhatsApp. That seems to be the software that the school is recommending. But in semesters past, classes have used Zoom. So you're welcome to use Zoom. It's a great tool. And what I'd recommend is when you do that, record it, and then one of you send it to me. I don't need it all from all of you, but just one person. When you meet as groups, I'd recommend that you appoint one person each week to be the group leader, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So the questions that the case poses is, what are the issues facing Tesla at this point in time when this case is presented? And, what is the founder most concerned about? Or what would you be most concerned about if you own this company? It's asking you to discuss together the findings of your financial analysis, so make sure you do that. Um, the case reminds you that if you're struggling to understand anything, this is a good time to share that with a group so that they can help you understand. As over the years, I found that if one person has a question, generally a couple of you have the same question. So don't forget to ask. That's why you're in groups. And then it asks you sort of a general question: was it a good idea for Tesla to enter into the electronic vehicle market? And then the case suggests that you need to support your position by using the five forces that apply. So make sure when you write this up that you use five forces in your evaluation and supporting your position. Hopefully that makes sense. And then what is your advice? What would you recommend Tesla do? It's interesting. Opinions about this company are really polarized. Their pendulum swings from one side to the other. They either love it or they hate it. So go ahead and share your feelings. Be sure you include your evidence when you're making points. Don't just make assumptions that you actually have made these recommendations based on facts. And so the case asks you to provide your evidence. And then lastly, it just says, make sure you talk about it in your group. So, to me, I don't really care whether you use WhatsApp. The three teams are using it a lot now, and so that's good. Sometimes I comment, sometimes I don't. If I feel like I need to make a comment, then I'll include one. But you're doing great, so I'll stay out of your way. That's sometimes the best thing a teacher can do is just let you go and stay out of your way. Oh, great. That's Tesla. So again, WhatsApp or Zoom, either one is fine with me. If you do Zoom, just record it and then send me the recording. It's also good if a member of the group can't make it, either because of time zone differences or work or family or whatever. It's good to record it so that they can review it as well. All right, here's the big case for the week, and this will take you some time to focus on it. This is a group assignment. So let's talk about group assignments. You'll have several of these during the year, so during the semester. What I would strongly recommend is you read the case first, read the instructions second, or first. You can read the instructions first, and then you'll know the questions that are going to be asked while you read the case. I used to do that in schools, and I'd take a pen and mark up the case so I knew what the answers were. And then the person or people, it can be two people, but normally it's just one person, is assigned to be the group leader for that week. And then you just rotate it because you're going to have several group assignments in the next few weeks. And then the group leader actually makes assignments based upon the information that you're trying to gather for this case. And so the assignment may be, any number of things. I'll let you decide what that's going to be. But these write-ups can be done as individuals and then collectively put together. The only thing I'd ask is that whoever is assigned to bring all the separate writings together. So if somebody has an assignment to, to do the introduction or to do the recommendations or whatever it happens to be, that whoever collects them together adjusts the font, make sure that the font's the same so it looks like one professional paper, maybe some grammar and paragraph structure. This is not an English class, but it sure makes it easier for the graders to work through that. Just one more reminder that we know, the school knows that there's AI out there, and we just recommend you don't use it, that it's your original work. There's enough good stuff out there that you can read and comment on in your papers. So just don't do that. It's easy for us to see it. The school has a plagiarism software that goes out in the net and grabs information. So the graders, I'm sure, run this through the software, and you'll get called on the carpet if you do that. So just don't do it. You've also signed an agreement not to do it as part of being a student at the school. So a little bit about this case. This is a good case. It's the longer the weeks go by, the harder the cases are going to get. But this is a case about market attractiveness. And specifically, you're going to look at the real estate function or portion of this market. And so right in the very first instruction it gives you, it says focus only on the real estate segment of the business. You can ignore the other businesses, their golf business and pre-law and stuff. So it just wants you to focus on the real estate. So let me back up a bit and just talk in general about market attractiveness. And I read through the case. It speaks to a little bit, but I spent my career helping companies grow, and most of those assignments were as the leader for that department. For example, the last corporate job I had, I was the chief development officer for Panda Express. And I started with a company when we had about 35 locations. Most of them were in malls. And I was sort of hired to take the company out of the mall and, out of the captive environment and move it out to be competitive with McDonald's and everyone else. We did that, obviously. The companies, I just got invited to the 3,000 store opening. So I was there until we had a couple thousand stores and about 400 or 500 in the pipeline. And so my footprint is all over that company. And so we got a good sense for who our customer was first. And that would be a good suggestion for this case, is trying to understand who or what they're going after. So, for example, at Panda, we knew exactly who our customers were. And the longer the company was out in these markets, the broader the enlarged demographic, it got to be where almost everyone in the market accepted it. So it wasn't as important, but the location and access and parking and all that stuff still became very important. So one of the questions you should ask is, who is the customer? Who are they going after? So it's going to ask you about the real estate segment. It's going to again ask you to look at the 5-to-1 elements, and competitors, buyers, suppliers, substitutes, potential entrants, and so forth. So you'll identify those. Look at the market attractiveness, number 2. Be sure as you talk about each of these segments, don't just guess. Actually have your conclusions supported by evidence. So, and that can be outside evidence. It can be evidence within the case. I think there is a comment in the bottom of the case that says here it is. You need to use at least 5 unique sources for your research outside of the course materials. So just make sure you're aware of that. And then lastly, number 2, it asks you to make recommendations. What do you suggest? Alternative recommendations or that particular recommendation, whatever you think as a group is the best thing to do. Then number 3, create the Word document. And in the Word document, it's going to ask you to include a number of points. First is an introduction. So what's your presentation all about? And then the market attractiveness portion. It's going to ask you to define or grade the market attractiveness. So, and you'll use the 5 forces again to help you with that. And then your recommended actions, again, use the 5 forces. And this is all based on the things that you've discussed, your insights, and what you've read in the case. And then your conclusion, obviously, and you've already made your recommendation, so you would conclude by just summarizing the key points that you made earlier. Now it says in number 4, this is a big one, everyone. Cite your references for your work. If you don't, you'll receive a 0. So now I don't know if the graders are going to do that. That's the first time I've seen that before. But just be aware that they want you to cite your outside resources. And then they mention, use 5 unique sources. So if you need to Again, this is not an English class, but it is good to write it up properly. So if you need to review the citing, the proper way to cite an article, that there's all kinds of articles about that on the internet. All right, so that's a little bit about the team project. Now, and then lastly, one person, one should submit this, and it can be your group leader for the week. This is a 75-point case assignment. It is important. Every point you get in these next 6 weeks or 5 weeks is going to be important to your grade. So I will be traveling a little bit this next week, but I'll obviously have my phone, and I catch your WhatsApp comments. If you have a specific question about what you're to research, just stick a note to me and make sure you put my name on it, and send it in WhatsApp so your whole group can actually read the question or comment. And I will try and do my best to answer them. I'll be in meetings the first few days of the week, but in the evening or afternoon or lunchtime or something, I can try and answer them. All right, I've talked long enough. 16.5 minutes is more than I like to talk. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm grateful for you. We pray for you every morning and night. I'm sure you do too, and your parents do. But just know that Heavenly Father loves you and wants the best for you in your life. So have a great week. Look forward to reviewing your discussions if you do Zoom and or them on WhatsApp. All right, see ya.